Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be doing a 3 looks 1 palette using the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I love this palette already. This is only my second look using it, but I already love it. Let's try not to blind you. So this is the colour story here. It's really nice. Slightly pastel, kind of muted tones as well, but you can still get a bit of depth. I got a bit of grunge out of the palette as well, obviously. The mattes blend like nothing, like literally they blend so easily. It's so nice to work with. The shimmers are fabulous, get a nice little mix of tones and colours and everything like that. You can do some colourful looks and some neutral looks with this palette, which I really like, which we will get into. I don't know how neutral I'm going to go, but I might add neutral elements to the looks that I want to do. So yeah, this is look number 1, which I love already. I haven't done look number 2 or 3 by the time I've done this one, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about the other ones, but so far this is my favourite. Also, I will be having pictures on my Instagram of full face and eyeballs, so you can see all of those there. Go follow my Instagram down below. You will know then when that goes up on my Instagram. It'll be a couple of days after the video goes live, hopefully, unless I forget or I don't know. But yeah, that's that. Also, don't forget to subscribe down below because 1, it helps me out, and 2, you'll see the rest of the videos that I'm going to be doing. I basically have, if you're new here and you haven't seen my previous videos, I have a palette for every single month that's new, and I'm going to be doing first impressions, 3 looks 1 palette, and I might throw in a palette bingo here and there, we'll see. But yeah, and lots more stuff other than that, but we have a lot of palette stuff if you love a palette stuff. We also have a lot of colourful things. I've got a colour series that I'm currently working on. And also up close and personal with my makeup collection. Seeing some swatches, seeing some bits all up close. So yeah, hit subscribe down below for all of that. And yeah, that is everything, I think. Oh, no, that's not everything. Christmas decorations, yes, they are still there. I'm not insane. I'm not one of those people. We don't take our Christmas decorations down until the 6th of January. Apparently it's bad luck, my mom's thing. So I'm not allowed to take them down until the 6th. And it's currently the 4th of January, and I'm kind of pre-filming this because we are in Ireland, back in lockdown for January at least. So I have time, so I might as well just keep filming. So they will be down in a video or 2. I don't know when, but they will be down, but they're just up for now. So I'm not insane. Okay, so yeah, let's get into look number 1. Okay guys, so let's get started on look number 1 using the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. This beauty. I'm feeling a halo eye today, I think I want to also do it quite mauvey and all that kind of jazz. I want to use Libra again, which is the kind of lilac-y shade, and maybe the deepest shade. I want to see how this one particularly blends into the other colours, and then we'll pick a shimmer. I don't know which one I want to use yet, and we'll just do something nice and grungy and halo-y and kind of purpley. But I'm loving that Libra shade, so I do want to get a little bit more use out of it and see just how it works. So I already have my base face on, and my brows on, and my eyelids are primed, so let's get straight into our look. So we are going to start off with Libra, which is that lilac-y sort of shade, and this is a Spectrum B07 blending brush. It's just a big, super fluffy brush, and we're going to start off with that as our transition shade, just popping that on the outer part of the eye, and then bringing it all along into the crease, and then taking a little bit more and press a little bit on the inner part of the lid, and also up into the crease. Nothing fancy, we're not doing anything crazy. I do like to do both sides at the same time so I can get the intensity nice, and then I can just go in and build up where I want more pigment and then blend it where I want it to be a little bit softer. We're just going to keep with that shape for now. Just to add to the grungy element as well, I brought a little bit of that lilac-y shade just right into the inner corner here, just because I feel like it, and I think when we put an inner corner highlight on, it will look really nice as a little bit of a lilac-y glow around it. So now what we're going to do is take a 221S brush from MAC, just a small little blending brush, quite skinny, and we're going to take that shade Vortex, which is a super dark purple, but it's the kind of purple, I've said this in my first impressions, it's the kind of purple that will work for a lot of the colors in here, so I think it's okay just to have the one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have liked another dark color, but if there's only one, this is a good one for it. So this is just going to go to the outer corner first again. Just place your colour first, and then the inner corner. And then just start building that up and bringing it into the crease. Just slowly and nicely. Don't worry about blending straight away, just getting your product on. And also, like I said in my first impressions, this will blend very nicely. Well, it should anyway. The lilac, the Libra shade, Libra, I don't know, blends really, really nice. So this should be no different. And in my first impressions, when I used the darker shade with this lilac colour, it blended so easy. So I'm taking a little bit of that as well on either side, just while I'm building up the colour, because I want the intensity to be on the outer corners. I'm actually bringing a little bit onto the lid, just so it'll help blend everything together once we put our shimmers on. I am, though, going to go in with my big fluffy brush with whatever is left on it and just use that just on the very edges, just to haze that around a little bit, just to make sure. Okay, so I want to work on my lower lash line before I do any shimmers or anything like that. We're just going to do a nice smoky lower lash line with this. I may add a different shimmer than I'm going to use on my lid on my lower lash line, but I'll think about that in a second. I'm going to go in with the shade of Vortex again. We're going to start with this colour, and this is going to go on a MAC 214 brush, my small little stubby brush. Just taking a small little bit of that, a little dab, and this just going to go right along my lower lash line. As close as I can get to my lashes. You can go as thick as you want. I normally like it quite thick, but I might not do it as thick as I normally do, just for the look. Like, I want this to be dark and grungy, but I also want it to be super soft as well. As in the blend to be very soft, and it's mostly the lilac shades that you're going to see. So that's the general vibe. Then I'm taking this small little brush that I have here. This is a 512 SES. Brush from MAC. It's just a kind of flattened fluffy brush, whatever kind of fluffy brush you prefer. If you like something a bit smaller for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go back into Libra, and we're gonna take that and just blend the life out of that lower lash line. We want this to be very smoky, and you can always go in and add more of the darker color, but I want it to be lovely and soft. Making sure you're connecting the blend out here as well, the same way you would with the darker color, just so that the blend matches up all around the eye. Remember when I said it was going to be soft? It is soft, but it's dark, which I like. Okay, so now what I want to do is take a little bit of my glitter primer from NYX. We're going to pop a bit of this on the lid. Where's my little brush gone? And I'm just going to do one eye at a time because that's what I feel like doing right now. This is a flat brush from MAC. It's a 248. Just any old flat brush will do. Taking a little bit of the glitter primer, and we're just going to press this on the lid. My nails couldn't not match anymore if I tried. I only just painted them as well. Okay, so for this look I have two options. I have three options actually. I could go for ultraviolet, but I think I might use that on my lower lash line in a little bit. I could also do cosmic, which is a bit more pinky shimmer, but I want that for my inner corner. So I'm actually going to go for Galaxy, which is the kind of rosy gold one, which I think might look a bit weird, but I think I might like it. So we're going to go in with that and just pop that on to the lid, starting in the center. Try to get the center as bright as you can, or the most pigmented you can. And then we're just going to feather it across the lid. So as we're going in here, just getting a bit softer. And out here, this color is stunning. I think this would be like my favorite kind of neutral color to use. I say as well that it's a rose gold, but it's not a rose gold that has a lot of gold in it. It's definitely more rosy, more pinky. Like when you actually see a rose gold metal, it's almost that kind of color. Just taking my 221 brush, the small little blending brush that we use for the darker purple, just tap over. Literally just tapping all around the edges just to make sure that we're nice and soft around here. All around and around here. Okay, so before we jump off to do the rest of the details of the face, I want to use the shade Cosmic, which is that lighter shimmery pink. And we're going to take that on the inner corner if I have a little brush to pop it on with. I'm actually just going to use that brush we used to blend out the lower lash line because it has a tiny bit of purple on it, but like I don't really care because I already have purple on the inner corner. So I'm just going to take a little bit of Cosmic. And we're just going to pop this on the inner corner in here. You could very well use the lighter shimmer that's in this palette, but I quite like the contrast between this shimmer and the lid shimmer. Okay, I am loving this look. I think this is very pretty. I wasn't sure about the tone of that lid colour at first, but I actually quite like the contrast between the little bit of warmth that's in it and the really cooler lilac-y kind of tones I have going on here. I like it. So I'm going to quickly jump off. I'm going to do the rest of my face and I'll come back. I'll tell you what's on my face and then we can get on to look number 2. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. I hope I don't have any lipstick on my teeth, which might keep happening. Let's quickly go through everything that I used on my face very quickly. So as far as my eyes go, I didn't really do anything else except for adding a pencil on my waterline, which was the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Crave. It kind of matches that dark purple perfectly, especially how it looks in the pan, so I thought that would be nice just to pop on the waterline. I didn't do any upper lash line liner on top because I wanted to keep that nice rounded effect, and I thought if I did that I would have ended up probably doing a little bit of a point on the end, which would have ruined the round effect. And then my mascara is my Get Big Lashes mascara from Essence. And as far as my lashes go, I used a new pair which I would have popped in my Black Friday haul I just posted there like 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. I'm going to say 2 weeks ago. These are the BH Cosmetics N105s. That's the box there. They're super like choppy and spiky and just really nice, especially for a halo eye. They give a really nice effect with the eye. Very doe eye kind of look to them. And then as far as my cheeks, I used my Gotham Shade and Glow powder from Nabla. It's called Gotham. That's the shade name, and I love it. I use that to bronze up my skin. I say bronze, it's more of a contour, but it did give a bit of warmth to my skin. And then for my blusher, I used my Makeup Geek blush in the shade Cherish, which is one of my faves, especially for purpley tones, because it's neutral but it still has a tiny bit of warmth in it. But it's not orangey on the cheeks. It's really nice for purpley tones to not make you look too dead. And then for my highlighter, I used my Wet n Wild Megalo highlighter in the shade Blossom Glow, which I would have had in my favorites video actually. This is one of my favorite products of 2020. I love it. It has a very soft pink hue off it, but it gives a super nice wet look to the cheek. Like look at that right there. Oh yeah, so wet looking. And then as far as my lips, I didn't know what to do with the lips, so I kind of went for a cool tone neutral. So for my liner, I used my Bobbi Brown lip pencil in the shade Bobby, which is like cool tone brown. That's the colour of it there. Very similar to MAC Stone lip liner. If you have that, that'll work too. Then as far as my lipstick, I used my MAC lipstick in the shade Love You Back. Mine has got lip pencil all around the edge. It's just a soft pinky toned nude. It's a matte finish as well, so if you wanted to wear it matte you could, but I didn't. I popped on a, I'm going to say gloss, but it's actually a lip oil. Feels amazing by the way. I actually really want to wear this with nothing on my lips, but I kind of wanted the tone of this, even though it didn't really make any difference. This is the Colourpop Luxe Lip Oil in the shade Rain Check. It's this kind of lilac-y colour, kind of matches the colour on the eyes really nice as well. Has a little bit of like a gold fleck in it. You don't really see any colour off of it, but the texture is beautiful. It's not sticky in the slightest. It's actually an oil. It feels like an oil. So yeah, that is everything that is on my face. This is how we finish off the look. Like I said in the beginning, that any of the pictures of this look will be posted on my Instagram down below, so go give that a follow for when the pictures do go up after the video. I'll do up close eye pictures and full face pictures. So let's see what we think of look number 2. Alright guys, so we are on to look number 2 of the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and I'm very excited about this one. I've got like my bluey kind of, some people might say this is purpley, but I think it's blue. But I feel like I definitely want to use these two most sparkly, beautiful shades here, Nebula and Mercury, and then we'll do some sort of a crease with that. And I might do a like a cut crease or a faux cut crease or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure. I've nothing on my skin at the minute except moisturizer, because I get the feeling I might get some fallout from some of these shadows and I don't have to deal with that. So I'm just going to do my skin afterwards. I just have my brows done, and I just have, or provisionally done anyway, and I've got a bit of eyeshadow primer on, and that is it. So let's get in with the look. We're going to start with a big fluffy brush. This is a MAC 224 brush, and I'm going to take the shade Crash, which is this kind of cooler toned brown shade. It's a lighter brown, nice transition shade, especially if you've got a skin tone like mine. I'm a little bit cooler. I love these kind of colors. These are my favorite kinds of neutrals. And I'm just going to pop this into the crease, nice and simple. Nothing too fancy. And this kind of gives off a little bit of a mauvey tone, so when we put our darker shade in, it'll blend nicely, but it's still on the brown side. Just making sure as well that you're bringing enough of this in here as well, so when we put our darker shade in here, it'll also blend, because we want the contrast for the cut crease. Next then, we are going to go in with the shade Vortex, which is this super, super dark, like aubergine kind of purpley colour. And it's also matte finish. And I'm going to take that on a MAC 221S brush, just a small little fluffy, skinny blending brush. So it's a little bit more detailed. And I'm just picking up a little bit of that colour there. Just going to pop this starting on the outer corner. And blending it out. I'm not worried about my lower lash line right now. I might do that after I've done my face. I'm just working on the majority of the colours where I might get the most fall down. So like these crease colours, even though I haven't really experienced any fall down from these, but it's the really sparkly shades is what I'm worried about. So once I have those on the lid, I'll be happy enough to do the rest of my face. So just get your colour on, don't worry about the edges just yet. I'm just going to get it in there, make sure we're going right in. Like I said before, we want the contrast there. And then you can just build up, make it nice and even. Then just taking a dab again of that Crash, is that what it's called? Yes, Crash, the first shade we used, on the fluffy brush again. And we're just going to go around and just soften out the edge of that darker purple, making sure it all blends out nicely. Okay, so once I have that on, it's all nice and blended. I may deepen it up a little bit more and add a bit more of the purple shade, but I don't know yet. What we're going to do now is do the cut crease. So we're going to take a little bit of glitter primer. This is my Too Faced Glitter Insurance. This look is actually not super complicated. Well, I mean, if you know how to do a half cut crease already, it's not that complicated. And I'm just going to pop a bit of this. It's going to be more of a faux cut crease rather than like a full-on concealer cut crease. So I'm just taking a bit of that, spread it across the lid first, just to make sure that's nice and even. And then we're going to go in, apply a little bit of pressure, just to go in, and it'll just start to pull away some of the shadow that's in there. Doesn't have to be fully perfect. I mean, the shimmer will stick to the primer anyway. So just making sure that we get nice, some sort of an edge. So you might not even really be able to tell too much difference, because a faux cut crease is like a softer kind of cut crease. What I'm going to do now is take a little bit of, what one are you? You are Nebula, which is the super, super sparkly, kind of bluey greyish kind of tone. Could argue it's a pressed glitter, but I don't feel like it is. Doesn't pick up great on the brush now, but I'm sure it'll apply nicely, whatever we have on the brush. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow, okay. That's a good look. And it should just stick to the glitter primer where you apply it. I'd imagine it would stick without glitter primer as well, because it does have a shadow element. It's not an actual pressed glitter, I don't feel like. It's like a hybrid. But, whoa, okay, that's really, really pretty. And I'm kind of bringing it in further at the actual crease and not as far in. Like, when I look straight ahead, it kind of stops at my pupil, or at my iris. But it goes as far as my pupil with the crease. So it's kind of going up at a diagonal. Now what I'm going to do is take that same brush, and we're going to take Mercury, which is that bluey kind of tone here. It's like a duochrome. And we're going to pop that on the rest of the lid. And let's just hope it looks okay. I don't really know. This picks up on the brush though. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. Kind of shifts from like a midnight blue into a teal into a purple. So it'll kind of mix with all the elements of the colours we have going on already. And then just kind of patting over where it meets that glittery shade. And I'm very glad I didn't do my skin first because I'm getting some fall down from these colours. And then just picking up a little bit more of Vortex, that darkest shade, and we're just going to pop that just on that outer corner just to blend in. And because the Vortex shade is purple and there is a purple shift in that darker blue colour that we used, it will blend into each other really nicely. I'm so sparkly. Okay, so I'm going to jump off for a second. I'm going to do let's tidy up my under eyes. I'm going to do my skin and then I'll come back. We'll do the lower lash line and then we can finish everything off. Okay, so that's a bit better. We are all nice and tidied up. So let's work on the lower lash line. I'm going to go back into the shade Vortex, which is the super duper dark purple. And I'm just going to take this. This is an elf. What are you? Eye crease brush. It's just a small little pencil brush. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and the Vortex shade, tapping it off now that I have my under eyes all done. I'm just going to smoke that in to the lashes, about 2/3 of the way across. So make sure we connect it out here and then just bringing it most of the way over, but just leaving a little bit of a gap. Then I'm just taking my big fluffy brush again and we're just going to go in with the shade Vortex and just a little bit, not too much, just like enough that would pick up. Tap it off as well. We're just going to use that to soften out the edge of the Vortex shade. Did I say Vortex that I just picked up? I meant Crash. The first shade we picked up, the transition shade. And we're using that to blend out Vortex, which is the dark purple. Sorry, I could be confusing everyone. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do is just take a little bit more Mercury, that darker purpley bluey kind of colour, and I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that on that flat brush we used for the cut crease. I actually used it for this eye because I needed a clean brush for doing the two colours, so it is dirty. But yeah, whichever flat brush you used to do your cut crease, just because it's smaller. I'm just going to press a little bit of that on the inner part of the lower lash, and I'm getting fallout, but it's okay. I'm not panicking. I'm panicking a little bit, but not that much. Okay, and then my last little step is going to be to do my inner corner. I'm going to use the shade Supermoon, which I used in my first impressions, but I used it over a matte shadow, but I want to use it as an actual inner corner now on its own. Just taking a little lip brush with that. It's a bit more of a chunkier sort of shimmer. Like, you are better off using this with your finger, but if you pick up enough on your brush and just start working it in, it'll build up nicely for you. But you can definitely, I sometimes even go in just with the colour and get it where I want it, and then go in with a little bit more on my finger and just press it on just to get the impact. Okay, so now I think I am done with all my colours. I'm going to jump off. We're going to do liner, lashes, cheeks and lips all off camera. I have to decide what lashes and what lip I want to do. I don't know what I want to do yet. Oh, I might do purple. Maybe. Or blue. I'm not sure. No, probably purple. So yeah, I'm going to jump off and I will decide and I'll show you what I use when I come back. Alrighty guys, so this is how I finish off the look. I went for a dark lip. I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go about it, if I wanted to do like a grey or something, but I was like, the purpley tone that's out in the crease is kind of calling my name, and I do feel a little bit grungy today, so why not? So let me quickly tell you what I used on my face. So for my eyes, I used on my waterline my 24-hour Glide On Eye Pencil from Urban Decay in the shade LSD. It's actually the exact match of that darker blue shimmer that we have on the like trichrome or duochrome or multichrome, whatever you want to call it. It's basically that exact match in a pencil. So I popped that into my waterline and I kind of blended nicely with the little bit of blue we put on the waterline or on the lower lash line. Then I used my NYX Epic Ink liner. It's just a liner pen, like one of those, and I just did a nice decent wing, a decent sized wing. Then my mascara is my Essence Get Big Lashes mascara. I think I'm going to be using this up until the end of January and then I will move on to something else. Then for my lashes, I use my BH Cosmetics D305 lashes. That's what the box looks like. They're like $3.50. They're longer on the outside, but they're kind of in chunks. Like it's a strip lash, but on the strip is like chunks of things. So they're very, what's the word? Choppy, which I like, especially for this kind of look. I wanted a bit of texture. Then for my cheeks, I went in with my Huda Tantour bronzer and contour in the shade Fair. She looks like that. Looks quite dark there, but it's actually a nice colour on me as a bronzer. And I just use that. It's a cream, so I use that before I set my face with my powder. And also, since I was using that as a cream, I use this, which is a cream blush. It's from Bobbi Brown. It's the Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks. It's in the shade Pale Pink. There's nothing pale about this pink colour on me though. So just use a small little bit and buffed it in with a brush. Then for my highlight, I use my Sleek Solstice highlighting palette in the shade Hemisphere, I think. It's the kind of purpley toned one. I use that one just as my highlight, and I used a lot of it apparently. I didn't think I used a lot of it, but I did. Then on my lips, I only used one thing for my lips. It's my Classic Horror from LA Splash liquid lipstick in the shade Phantom. It's just like a super dark, like aubergine kind of colour. It's very nice to go with the darkest matte that we use, the Vortex shade, but it's a bit more purple than that, but I do really like how it turned out, and I feel very kind of vampy, but in a spacey kind of way because of the colours that's on the lid. I love how this look turned out. So if you want to see any up close pictures of this look, like I said in the beginning of the video, all the pictures will be posted on my Instagram. It's linked down below. Go give it a follow so you can see them, and they will be posted at some point after the video goes live. Also hit subscribe down below as usual. But yeah, this is look number 2. I don't know which one I like more. I like both. I like the lip of this better though, because I love me a dark lip. So let's see how look number 3 turns out, and then we can decide which is my favourite. Alrighty guys, so we are going to do look number 3 using our Huda Mercury Retrograde palette. I'm feeling this kind of tealy blue colour. I might do this shade down here. I don't know why, on the lid, and a bit of this, and then maybe the Vortex shade to deepen it. I don't really know. I might do this one instead. We'll decide. I'll decide as I go. Actually, I think I will do that one. I don't know. Let's just play along and we'll see what happens. I already have my skin done and my brows done and my eyeshadow primer, which will all be listed down below. And we can do skin and all that later on off camera. So let's just get started. So we're going to start off with the shade Haze, which is that tealy colour, and that's just going to be in the crease. The look itself is going to be pretty simple, nothing too extravagant. Trying to keep this one nice and simple, but this is very pigmented. As you can see, you wouldn't think a colour like that in this sort of palette would be very pigmented, but you only need like a dab at a time to pick up because it goes on very pigmented. And I want this to be very blown out as well, so I'm just taking a little bit at a time and really going in and blending it. I did forget to mention that I used a Inglot 6SS brush for this. It's just a big, giant, super fluffy brush. And yeah, that's how it looks so far. I really like it. I really like how it looks already. Next, we're going to go in and take a 217 from MAC. Just another fluffy brush, but a bit more of a stiffer, more precise fluffy brush. And I'm going to take the shade Vortex, which is the purpley, the darkest purple. And I don't want it to look dark purple if I can help it. I want it just to deepen this colour. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and we're going to work it into the crease. But because it has purple in it, it should blend okay with the actual blue once we start going in and properly blending. I'm like really tapping it off. Every time I pick up a little bit, I'm really going in and tapping it off. Always starting where I want it to be the darkest. So in the outer corner and right into the crease. And then from there you can blend out. Because where your brush hits the skin first is where the most product is usually going to go, so just be careful. Then just going back in with my 6SS again and a tiny little dab of Haze again, because like I said, I want this to be teal, like I do want it to look like that. I'm just going to go in and go over that until you're happy with the kind of tone you have going on and the blend between the two colours. I'm just going to town with this blue now. Okay, so we can reblend as we feel like we need to, but I'm going to go in to Vortex again, the dark purple. I'm taking that on a 214 brush from MAC. It's just a small little stubby, smudgy brush. Just taking a little dab, and I just want to run a bit of this just into the lashes. Nothing too thick on the lashes. Go as thick as you want. You can use a little liner brush if you want to. And this will definitely look more purple because the purple has gone straight onto the primer. So its truest colour is coming out, where before we already had the blue down. So it's not coming out as much on the lid, but I'm going to blow this out with the blue as well. Okay, so once I have that done, we're going to go back into haze again, and I'm actually taking this teeny weeny little brush. Look at this. This is a Real Techniques mini shading brush. It's just a small brush. I got it in a little set ages ago, but my other shading brush is dirty right now, so I need something. And that's what I have. So I'm just going to use that now to blow out the purple and pretty much overlap it. I'm just slowly building that so we get a nice blend like what we have on top. I don't really mind it looking more purple than the top anyway, because it adds a little bit of difference down the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to in with my glitter primer just to pop my shimmer on, and I'm just taking that on a flat brush and just popping that over the rest of the lid where we haven't got anything going. I don't necessarily want it to be a cut crease or anything like that. I'm just kind of patting it on. Okay, so then I was going to do the shade Frazzled, but I just think it's just a bit too warm, and I was going to do this because it has a little bit of like a limey green reflect through it, through the coppery sort of tone. I don't know if you can even see that. You'll see it in my swatches and my first impressions anyway, but I just feel like it's going to be too warm and too dark, and I won't like how it looks at the end. But I think the shade Gold Glitch might be better because it's a bit of a lighter gold, not too warm, and it's got pink flecks in it, which I think would look quite pretty. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll go with that shade. Pick it up on the same brush I used for my glitter primer. Ooh, very shiny. And then just pop that on the lid, all over where I applied the glitter primer. And with that glitter primer, you can really see those pink little flecks through that colour. It's very nice. I like it a lot. That's such a pretty combination. I love that gold. That gold is so pretty. Way prettier than I thought it was going to be. I'm very happy I used that one instead. I'm just going to take the brush that I used with the darker purple on to blend, but I'm just going to go in and just tap over where that meets the gold. I don't mind like the flecks of sparkle being a bit everywhere because, well, I want them to be on the lid, but I don't mind them travelling up into the crease a little bit because it kind of adds a nice ethereal sort of look to it. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of a weird combination for my inner corner. I'm going to take Supermoon, which is that really like whitish colour that reflects like pink and green. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Galaxy, which is that rosy gold colour, because I feel like this is just going to be a bit too bright compared to the gold shimmer. So I think the rose gold will actually knock it back just a smidge, but I still want the lightness there. Lighter than the rose gold, so. And just keep going back and forth between the two colours, or you could layer them. So what I'm kind of doing is taking more of the Supermoon, which is the whitish kind of colour, first. And then over top of that I can put the rosy gold colour. Okay, and then I have the Supermoon shade on. I'm going to take a little bit of Galaxy, which is that rosy gold sort of shade, just a little bit. It's just only just to neutralise it. I want it to still be nice and bright, but just to knock it down a tiny weeny little bit. Okay, I think I'm done. I think that is it. I am going to jump off. I'm going to finish off the eyes and cheeks and lips, and then I'll come back and let you know what I used on my face, and then we can finish off and see what I really think of this palette. Alright guys, so this is look number 3. This is how I finish it off, and I'm getting serious mermaid vibes. I wasn't sure which lip to go for, but then as the look was going on, I was like, feeling like Little Mermaid over here, so I'm going to do a kind of corally sort of lip. So let me quickly go through everything that I used on my face. For my liner, I used my Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in the shade Rosy and Goldie. It's just like a rose gold colour. It actually matches really well with the colour that I used on the lid. So I thought it'd be a nice match on the waterline. You could do a dark waterline, you could do a black, you could do a dark purple, you could do a greeny colour if you want to, but I did all those in other looks using this palette, so I was like, let's match the gold. I think that'd be pretty. And it also matches well with my eye colour, like it contrasts nicely with the gold, so yes. I didn't do any liner on my upper lash line. I just did my lashes, and I used my Essence Get Big Lashes mascara. Use that one there. Then for my actual false lashes, I used one of my favorite lashes of all time. These are the Kiss Look So Natural flirty lashes. I have a big multi-pack of them because I love it so much, and I would buy another multi-pack because I love it so much, because they're the perfect amount of drama to really amp up the look, but also super soft, super fluttery, super long, just everything. I can see everything of my look, which is what I always want with my lashes, but also the drama. We want the drama. Then moving on to cheeks, I used my Essence Bronzing Compact Powder. It's just called, it's matte, and it's called Love to Be Matte. It's this one here. This is 02, so I think there is a lighter one, but this one actually works quite well as a nice soft bronzer for me. I only used a little bit and I really buffed the life out of it anyway. Then for my blusher, I used my Coralista blush from Benefit, which is like that corally orangey kind of tone, which I thought would be nice again for the mermaid vibes. And I was going to do a highlighter. The highlighter I was going to use was the MUA Luxe Set and Reflect Finishing Kit. It's one of these where it's got like a translucent powder on bottom and then up top is a highlighter. And it's this nice kind of goldy kind of colour. But once I put the blush on, I actually thought, oh, that's actually just enough highlight for me right now. And I think going in any more might be a bit too much. And I know I do normally wear a lot of highlighter anyway. But I thought I kind of just liked how it looked as it was. And you can see it's super shiny. That blush does give off a lot of colour as well. A lot of shine, sorry. Then onto my lips, I use my MAC lip pencil in Soar. She's getting small. She is getting small. It's just like a nice rosy neutral kind of colour. Then my lips, I was going to use this one, but then I put it on and I was like, oh no, that's a bit much now. That's taking everything away from the eyes. This is Costa Chic, which is this super bright neon corally kind of colour. Then I decided instead we'll go a bit more creamy, a bit more glossy, a bit more neutral, but still have a corally tone. So I use my lipstick in Fanfare from MAC, which is perfect, I think. I love this lip. I don't wear this lip nearly enough. I think it's one of MAC's best lipsticks, so get your hands on it if you haven't got it already. Alrighty guys, so that is everything. That's everything using my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette for our 3 looks 1 palette. I will obviously be doing more looks with this. I'm planning on my Instagram actually to do some swatches. Like, I'm going to swatch all my palettes. I think that might be fun. Just a little, I won't talk in it or anything like that. Or I might talk in the moment, I don't know. Just a little IGTV of me swatching all of my palettes. Not, I'll do one per video. So I'll do a lot of them. Maybe one a week or one a month or something like that. Yeah, I think that might be fun. So you'll definitely see something like that with this at least, but I will obviously be doing more looks. I don't just use them to get the video out of them and then never use them again. This is the palette and I love it. I think it's definitely lives up to the hype of everyone saying how good it is. It's one of Huda's best palettes, best formulas, best performing palettes as well, and most cohesive palettes. So if you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. And it's the best way to get me around to more people, so more people see my videos. It's the easiest, cheapest and simplest ways of helping me out. Also hit subscribe down below to see more things coming up whenever I do them with this. I also have next month, I'm going to have 2 palettes next month that I'm going to be focusing on. I'm kind of doing a palette focus every month, but next month I'm doing 2, but they're 2 smaller palettes. So I'll be doing one in 1 week and one in the other week. I'm going to be doing the whole focus in those weeks, so that'll be fun. There is going to be an extra 2 videos next month already. I'm already adding extras, but it's fine. I have it planned. I know what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's what's happening then. Also we've got more fun tutorials coming up, more things coming up. I think my colour series is happening next week. I'm going back to that next week. That's exciting. I'm excited to continue on with that. So leave me in the comments down below a couple of things. Number 1, which look is your favourite? Did you like look number 1, number 2, or number 3? I'm still going to say this one for now. And then my other question for you guys is there any colours that you would like me to do specifically? I probably already have them on my list, but is there any specific colours that you would like me to do a whole look focus on that? Because that's what the colour series is. The pictures of this look will be on my Instagram. It'll go up sometime after the video going up. This look might go up a little bit after all the other looks go up because I usually put them up in order. But yeah, go follow that down below so you can see more, and you'll also see whenever I do swatches of all my palettes. So yeah, so I will see you in the next video guys. Bye.